Hey guys, welcome back to Pat Mac's Adventures, and today I thought I would share my story with you guys on how I came to Korea and why I came to Korea in the first place. So to start, let's rewind all the way back to 2012. So in 2012, I started to kind of think about the idea of moving abroad. I had been living in Hawaii for 5 years. I had moved to Hawaii to go to the University of Hawaii in 2007 from my hometown of San Diego. And I decided to do like a really big new trip. So I went to China for a month and I just wanted to throw myself in a different culture and take that jump. And it was a really scary jump, but it was an amazing experience. After China, I realized that I really loved traveling. So I started to look into like, how could I make this work? What options could there be to live abroad? And I had worked as a swim instructor for little kids back home while working on a dinner cruise. So I had some experience with kids, but not actually teaching them English. So I started looking more into it and I finally decided that I was gonna move to Korea and teach English. At the same time, I ended up meeting a guy, and I know it sounds cliche, but I totally fell in love with this guy. He was born and raised in Honolulu, but he lived in Seattle. So it turned into a 6-month long distance relationship. So we would go back and forth. He would visit Hawaii, I would visit Seattle, and I was totally in love with this guy. And at that point, I decided to put Korea on the back burner, but I was at a point where I had decided that I was ready to leave Hawaii. He really started to plant the idea of me moving to Seattle, and he really wanted me to move to Seattle. So I thought really hard about it, and I really wanted to go to Korea, but I was so in love with this guy and I was ready to leave Hawaii that I decided to move to Seattle. And I did it for me, but I also did it for him as well. So I ended up quitting my job, sold all my furniture, and I moved to Seattle with this guy, and it was the beginning of 2013. As soon as I'm on my way to the grocery store as I vlog this to you guys, just don't want to get hit by a car. I thought, you know what? This is the next step. Seattle is the next step. It was never even an idea of mine to move to Seattle, but I thought, you know, I can move there for this guy and the city could grow on me and I can learn about the city and, you know, learn to love the city and just discover what Seattle is all about. And so I did it. I sold everything I had in Hawaii. I quit my job and I moved to Seattle. Shortly after I moved there, we went on a trip to Japan, and we were in Japan for about a month, and that was kind of a test to see how we would do traveling together. And I knew if we didn't have any issues traveling together, then living together would be no problem. And unfortunately, there were red flags there, and I didn't pick up on them, and I ignored them at the time. So to cut a long story short, 3 months after I moved to Seattle, everything fell apart. And you know, this is the thing about life, that life is all about risks, right? So sometimes the risk works out and sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, in this case, it did not. I ended up catching him cheating on me big time, and I had no idea. There were red flags along the way that I just didn't pay attention to and kind of ignored. And I was devastated. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, if you're with a woman or with a man. To be cheated on, that feeling is... I never thought that would be me. I never thought I would be that person that would catch my boyfriend cheating. I really didn't think that would ever happen to me. And it did. And it was really devastating. So immediately after I caught him cheating, he begged me to stay in Seattle. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to babysit you and check your phone and email and all this other stuff? I mean, how am I gonna trust you? And it was really fast. It was at this point 9 months into our relationship, and you know, it was really difficult, and I was just stuck there like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? I quit my job, I sold everything, and here I am in Seattle with no friends, new friends that are his friends, and this guy that just totally ripped my heart out. So the first thing that came to my mind was Korea. I was like, you know what? This was just a detour and I'm gonna go to Korea. So I got a one-way ticket to go back to Hawaii, got a new job, worked my butt off for 8 months saving money and applying to EPIC, which is what I went through. And I'll save that for another video to explain how the EPIC process works. So I made it back to Hawaii and I ended up making it to Korea. So as difficult as that situation was, I'm actually really thankful it happened, because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be in Korea now and I wouldn't be at the school that I'm at now and have the friends that I have now. So, you know, I know it sounds cliche again, but I kind of believe that sometimes things really do happen for a reason, and I learned a lot through that experience. And you know, it really sucked, it really did, but you know, I'm now in Korea and I have a really good life right now and things are going really well. So sometimes in life things don't always go the way that you want them to, but you just got to keep at it and believe that no matter what, no matter how bad something gets, it will get better. So that is my story of how I got to Korea and why I came to Korea. So I would encourage all of you out there, if you want to move here to Korea, or you want to move to a different country, or you want to go out and travel, if it's something you really want to do, don't give up on it. And even if bad things happen, it will always get better and you'll be able to really pursue your dreams if that's really what you want and if it's meant to be. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.